Welcome everyone. We're back with ACC on this Friday. Today is very good day. Very fine evening, and yeah, welcome to you all. We're going for a race at Spa, round 6 of season 8. Season 8, I think that's season 8. So we're very excited. This is one of my favorite tracks of all time. Very exciting track, very hard, very long track, and we have a very long race ahead as well planned out for you guys. So it's a 15 minutes quali coming up, and then it's going to be a 1.5 hour, which is 90 minutes race, endurance race. So I think this is the second endurance race of the season. So looking forward to it very much. I don't know how the standings been so far, but endurance usually is a bit different. It's very hard to get racing going on every lap. You see more of a strategic game and trying to go for a long stretch. People trying to be more consistent towards the entire race as well. As we see, we are already in the qualifying here. 13 minutes on the clock left. As we see, Worship the Panda going out of the pitch. I don't know who has done the most practice. It's been a long time since I commentated, so I'm a bit oblivious to the current situation of the standings and what's the form been of these boys. But I'd assume the usual top runners to be there. Worship the Panda going out previously, as we saw. Now I think
Uh, just to
Casey's going to come out as well. I
yes,
think they're just fine tuning the setups a little bit. Yep, go on.
sorry to interrupt you. I just wanted to say that Casey's already been disqualified before the session even started. It
Oh, yeah, I just noticed.
might have
That
been
was weird.
because of a quali ban that he received due to the last race. Not sure.
Oh, damn. Okay, that's interesting. So, Casey already out of qualifying, but he wouldn't worry too much because after all, this is an endurance race and this you need consistency more than anything in these races. And so, I don't think qualifying is as worthy as you see in sprint races, because in sprint races, even though you get incidents, it's very hard to make up positions in very short amount of time. Whereas in endurance, if you're consistent and keep it clean, you can benefit hugely with it at the end of the race. As we see W Singh here going through a rouge, I think he started his hot lap. Uh, Zab coming up to Lecom chicane. Let's see what times he's going to do. Track is currently only on fast, so it's not completely gripped up. So the times may not be completely representative or super fast. I'd assume maybe 217s or 218s, or maybe even higher than that in a fast track. So W Singh, as usual, probably the favorite throughout the entire season and probably the favorite for this race as well. It's a shame that we are missing Masoom here because he's usually the other front runner and the competitor, the direct competitor for W Singh. But without him, it's going to be a bit of an easy job for W Singh, I would say. But let's see, maybe some guys have practiced and can bring out some fireworks towards the front here. As we see W Singh round out, going on the exit out of Puan, coming into the Brussels chicane, I think it's called. Uh, yep, I'm completing the lap here. Who else is there to talk about? MJK. I think it's the first season for MJK. I think he's a very new guy for this season. Uh, I think the last time I commentated was in Italy, and he was doing very good there. So I'd expect him to do as very well as well. We the usual other runners as well, Starboy and Star Max Lord, Noob, Helium. Helium is one of the other, I would say, medium to front runner. But all of it depends on the practice they've done. And yeah, let's see what's going to happen. Let's see what time W Singh is going to put as a benchmark. I would say at the starting of this qualifying session, just 10 minutes left on the clock. As W Singh rounds out final chicane, uh, let's see what times he's done. 219.0. Yeah, that's about where we expected it to be. Can you get the live delta leaderboard instead of yep, this one exactly? Because we see Noob go just half a second behind W Singh and Starboy going almost a second behind him. So a lot of guys still yet to put in their lap times. It's going to be interesting to see what they're going to do. see a Star Max Lord coming out. He's trying the Bentley. I'm not sure how strong Bentley is going to be. It's usually a very rounded car, I would say. It performs good in a lot of tracks, but it's not particularly OP in any singular track. So I think it's a good car to have as well for beginners. Uh,
Yeah, Koushik, I think we lost you in between for a moment.
yep, I'm here.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is Star Max. We're going to the Camel Straight. Uh, oh, the stream is a bit laggy. It's fine.
Yeah, sorry, I'm really sorry about that. Probably
Yeah,
because my dad is watching IPL in his room right now, so yeah,
yeah,
he's
it's
using
fine.
Wi-Fi.
Uh, yep, Star Max is going through the Lacombe chicane at the exit. Going to the, I don't know what, it's not the no-name corner. I don't know what the name of this particular corner is, but going towards the no-name corner now. Very hard on the track limits as well. If you go a bit wide on the apex, you can just really go. You can't really recover from the understeer on the exit there, and you can completely cut the track. But he's fine. Sam McLeod is fine on this lap. It seems. Kwan as well, very hard, very understeery, and because you're carrying a lot of speed. But if you just mess up the entry a bit or can't minimize the scrubbing of the tires, you're gonna end up going really, really wide on the exit of the Kuman and maybe even out of the turn. And the curb on the track on the exit as well is a bit raised. So if you got on the curb, it's no guarantee that you'll stay on track because it can get pretty hairy on the exit. And oh yeah, this just as I was about to say, I think you cut the track there as well. That's a very hard corner to the track limits because, as again, it's a very high speed understeer corner. Now coming here, I think his lap is done. I think he cut. Yep, he definitely done now. So at the Blanchimont corner, who else is there? Worship the Panda is going only 2 turns behind, so it's actually pretty close. Unless Dowley Singh put in a very mediocre banker there. Those are pretty competitive times at the front. And now Helium is going to complete his lap, and let's see what time he is going to put in the clock there. Ooh, that's a bit off target. That's 1.3 seconds off target there, but I would assume he'll be going much faster than that. Whereas you see Shrock here, what lap time does he do? I think he invalidated, or maybe wasn't his hot lap there. Uh, yep, you see Shrock coming out into the first corner. Maybe he started his hot lap now. Meanwhile, we see other people, as we said before, Stomach Slot, but at 2 corners, maybe even at the exit of Blanchimont, or maybe even earlier on the lap, and he invalidated. So that's why I think there's no lap time for him yet on the leaderboard.
Yep,
No. Yep.
it's been I was just saying that it's 10 minutes into the quali and we've only seen 5 drivers set their lap times.
Yep.
Pretty
I
surprising.
think that, yeah. I think everyone's just chilling for now. I think they just don't want to push in quali. Just want to enjoy the race and start from the back. I think starting from the back is very good in endurance races as well, because I think most of the guys are doing it now anyway. But it's a very fun thing because endurance race you can get a bit tiring. So when you start from the back, you would expect more action. So that way they can keep themselves entertained and maybe go for that uh, driver of the day reward for themselves because they're starting far back, and if they manage to get overtakes done, they could be very well the favorite for the driver of the day today. So yep.
Well, like you
While
said, driver of the day is sort of a reward that the drivers would give themselves.
yep.
Yeah, so like you said, endurance races can be pretty boring. So, I mean, I as a streamer, well, I find it difficult to find any sort of action
Yeah, definitely.
once we are 40 minutes into the race. So,
Yeah.
I mean, the drivers would have it a little tad bit more exciting since they are in the field themselves doing all the hard work. And I think yes, that I think
I
Star
think
Max.
maybe we can keep ourselves entertained with maybe replays and just like analyzing stuff in while the race is going. I think that would be a good way to spend some time in the race while nothing's happening with that.
And luckily, this is Spa, and it's my favorite track
Yep,
of all time, be it F1 or like anything for that
yep,
matter.
definitely. Pretty much
Uh,
the same for me as well, to be
I mean,
honest.
pretty challenging track also, and especially in the F1 game, after they made the curbs literal murderers this time, it's
Yeah,
been a lot more challenging. Like it's a very fast-paced circuit with
yep.
with a good balance of free flowing corners, the Lecombe chicane and Puhon, Oroge, Radion. It's an overall amazing track to race on.
Yep, I think the Sector 2 is very hard in the GT cars. It's not actually as easy as it looks on the onboards because GT cars, as you know, you need a lot of skill in terms of managing that weight distribution, weight shifting around when you in the entry of the corner and exit. You have to know how the weight is shifting around in the car and how the car is pitching and rolling as well. And that's one of the hardest things with GT cars, and especially in Sector 2 with such medium to high speed corners as well. Uh, they'll have a very hard time, and you could see some spins around in the race as well when people are distracted and not paying attention to the track. They actually might overstep the mark and spin out here and there. So that's going to be interesting to look out for as well. As we see the leaderboard now, lot of variance in terms of lap times. Almost 6 seconds off is the eighth player, who is Bhuvneet, I think, is almost 6 seconds off. But I presume those are not representative lap times. They're just going out on the track, just putting lap times and not taking everything seriously in this qualifying session, where we see only around 3 minutes left on the clock, so it's about to come down. Maybe one or two more laps left for everyone else out there. If they're lucky, maybe they'll get three more laps, but that's unlikely. Uh, you see W Singh, yeah, I think is going for another hot lap. He might improve actually. The track is still fast. The temperatures are pretty normal, I would say. They're not too cold or too hot. So lap times are as expected, 219s. Maybe WC can get into the 218s, mid to low 218s. Maybe I can try for this hot lap. But I'm surprised Noob and Staba are that close, and even Panda is that close as well. So let's see what W Singh does. Maybe he's a bit with that previous lap time, or maybe he's actually that's his true pace. Let's see as he goes on the exit of one. Goes a bit wide, but is not out of the track, so it's fine. Going into the chicane now. I think the Brazil chicane. Maybe I'm wrong with that, but it's very hard. The corner names are very hard because there's so many corners in the sector too, so it's hard to keep track of the corner names. Uh, as we see out of this is one of the harder corners as well. The car is very loose on the exit, and yep, the car is very loose on the exit, and you have to be balancing with track limits and also maximizing the traction out of that corner, so it's very hard. Now we see him going to the Blanchimont corner. Let's see if he can keep it on the track. I think he does it very well, and going on to the last corner here. Very tricky braking zone. And there's very different styles you can take. One style where you can keep the car straight, but but it results in increasing braking distance. As we see WC go almost half a second quicker. So, as I said, he was definitely improving on that lap. Maybe he's going for one other lap here, second push lap straight away. But this would be his last lap. And meanwhile, we see other guys as well coming out. I think that's their final laps coming for them as well. Meanwhile, number 6 and number 7 cars, I think maybe they can get to the line and start their final hot lap within the time. Whereas we see Noob here, number 6 Ferrari, almost half a second behind. He'd be hoping to get. It's going to be tricky actually. Will he make it? Only 20 seconds left on the clock. It's going to be very tight. Let's see what's going to happen. He seems to be the second guy on the leaderboard, so maybe he has a bit more pace to uh, beat W Singh for that pole position here. But he has to make that finish line before the checkered flag, and I think it's very hard to see. Did he make it? I think he made it because we
Yeah,
see no checkered flag on
he
his name. Yeah,
he made it in the very last second.
yeah, that was like tenths of a second kind of deal there. We made it. So let's see what Noob can pull out now with his final hot lap. Meanwhile, W Singh I think is still on his hot lap. Maybe he's improving himself. As we see Noob here go to the Ferrari, taking that Rouge very beautifully, very stable, both on the entry and exit. Nothing to worry about there. He goes on the camel straight. Ferrari not too amazing on the straight line speed, but doesn't matter in sector 2 coming out, and Ferrari is very strong with the chassis balance. As we know, there we go. We see Noob here going very close to the entry curve of the exit of Lecom chicane, taking that exit curve very beautifully, as well as we see that downhill tricky braking zone, as well as you need to get the turn in as well while you're braking, so that's very hard corner. We see on the exit here of the no name corner, will he keep it on track? I think he did. I'm not sure because it's a bit lagging, but it's fine. We see Juan, can he keep it on track? He can, but oh, that felt a bit off limit. Like he's not pushing it completely like Davlish was, because there's a lot of space on the exit curve, so maybe he wasn't pushing like Davlish was. But Davlish has actually completed his lap and still improved again, well, almost around 2 tenths, and now he sits comfortably around 7 tenths ahead of Noob. Meanwhile, everybody else is on the pits or disqualified, like KC66. So Noob is the only car on the track. Can he do something about W Singh? It's very hard to say, very hard to judge, because it didn't look like he was pushing too much, but maybe he was, and maybe he was gaining on the corners. Let's see what's gonna happen. Is he comes through the Blanchimont section here. Uh, yep, as he rounds out the final corner. Goes a bit wide on the entry of the curb, final corner, final chicane, but as we see what's gonna happen.
Nope, he does not improve.
Yep, it does not improve. I think I predicted well there, because I saw him going very like didn't even touch the white line on the exit of one, so it's like he wasn't gaining too much time there. But now that's it, that's done. The qualifying session is done. It's not a big deal if cars are out of position here, because it's an endurance race, almost 90 minutes to gain all those positions back. It's fine if you're disqualified like Casey as well, because you can get back on the race. It's not to worry about too much, and only 13 cars for the endurance race here, so it's going to be a bit boring than usual in the usual endurance races, but it's Spa, so I'm interested in see what's going to happen in the race. I mean, while Tavli Singh is on pole, let's see what's going to happen with the setups as they fine tune their final setup settings and get ready for the race.
Well, I'm surprised to see that someone has, partly beat Davlish himself. Looking at Noob here, who's gone fastest in the first sector out of all the drivers here. So
Yep,
that in itself is an achievement. I mean, considering that he's in silver class.
yep, definitely. I think the absence of Masum and several other players is playing very well for the silver class players over here, because they can get some good points today and positions themselves better in the championship as well. So they're going to be benefiting massively.
I think even if any of the drivers finishes third, okay, they're guaranteed a podium if anyone finishes like outside of the pro class. So
Yep.
I mean,
Yep.
there will
As
be
we,
two. Okay, yeah, go on. Sorry.
I don't know. Go on. Go on.
I was just saying that there are only two pro class drivers on grid today. So yeah, that's
Davlish and who else?
Davlish and Panda.
Panda. Yeah. I'm surprised Panda was in P2. I would expect him to be P2. Maybe he wasn't practicing that much this race. But anyways, doesn't matter. The
Yeah.
countdown is out. I think it's a formation lap for this endurance race coming up. Post start out, or is it
Yeah, but
full
it'll
start?
be a full formation lap. It was
Yep.
discussed so in the drivers briefing.
Yep. You see full formation lap here as they try to get their tires and brakes temperature. Uh, I personally very found it very the temperature consistent after the end of the formation lap as well, because they can cool down very rapidly as you approach the end of the formation lap, because the cars are going to be slowing down massively at the end, so the brakes and everything will be cooling down. So these guys do something called brake dragging, which is very common, and it's been caught on the news in the simulation community with iRacing iRacing simulator, where it was an exploit where you can brake drag and sort of get extremely good temperatures out of your tires and brakes. So you can get like 1 second a lap in racing. So that's been quite a controversial glitch in that game, but I don't think that any sort of those things exist in ACC because it's been a very good simulator so far. A lot of good. I think the hot fix has been updated. I think 2 days back or something like that. As far as I know. So no
I
glitches.
I actually thought this brake dragging was a technique that drivers use in real life as well. I mean,
Yeah, they do. But in iRacing, it's like it glitches, and I think the temperatures are like I think they stay on too long, or they get to the temperature very quickly, or something like that. So real life drivers do it as well. That's a very common technique as well. I think
oh,
these guys are doing now too. It exists in this game as well. Last time I raced, that's how I tried to put temperature on tires. It helps actually massively to get the core temperature of the carcass temperature of the tire up, but it's not as ridiculously effective as the glitch in the iRacing. So I think that's what the controversy was about. But yeah, these cars doing that weaving doesn't do much, to be honest. Even in F1 cars, it doesn't do much. It's like uh, very aggressive weaving. You have to do it for a long time to keep the temperature, but weaving actually doesn't put up much temperature in the tires. It's that brake dragging and that putting the temperature through the brakes actually works better.
so
And a
how
lot
does
of
brake tracking exactly work? I'm not really familiar with it.
yeah, it's basically you put on some brake while you're accelerating. So the brakes are starting to brake the car, like uh, decelerate the car, but you're actually accelerating as well.
Ah,
So the brakes are on very minutely. They don't completely attach to the caliper, so they rub against the caliper just slightly. So that in that way the brake discs get a lot of temperature in them, and through that temperature it can transfer through the carcass of the tire as well. So just while you're accelerating or in the straight here, you just keep on just like 10% brake or something like that. Uh, it's manageable, but it's not that hard to be honest. But it depends like how aggressive you want your temperatures to be, and it could. But these cars and this thing being realistic, it could actually, if you do it too aggressively and like ridiculously and unrealistically, maybe it could actually damage the brake discs as well, and it can lead to a lot of brake disc wear. So brake pad wear actually. So maybe they'll suffer later in the race. That could actually happen. Not sure, but it's a possibility. But yeah, as we see, they're coming out to the final corner. But I think the race starts not on the start finish straight, but on the run down to the camel. The Rouge section. The straight on the entry to the Rouge section. I think that's where the race is going to start. Establishing going very wide, taking that very wide line. Is it starting here itself? Oh no, I don't think so. Meanwhile, we see establishing packing up everyone. This is what I was talking about. Like, when you slow down massively just before the race starts, the tire temperatures drop massively, and all the thing you've done previously. I mean, it did work, and it'll work a bit, but tire temperature is going to be still very marginal. Especially like look at the pace they are going. Like they're going 50, 60 kph. It's gonna be a bit worrying for them, but it's fine. It's what's gonna happen. They come out the first corner. Everybody's too far away from Davlis, but they regroup again. Uh, they could get penalties here if they're not careful with their positioning on the track and their speeds as well before the race starts. But we're nearing close the start of this endurance race, round 6 of ACC season 8, I think. Uh, but as we go, I think it's a green flag. There we go. W Singh gets a good start, and a noob starts behind him. But there's a Porsche, I think, going around the outside on the Rouge of the Ferrari of Star Max Lord. I think that was Panda who positioned himself very well at the start of the race, as we see on the camel straight here. Single file so far, but Panda getting very close to the Ferrari of Noob. Can he make the overtake? I don't think so. I think he's a bit too far away. He's going side by side. With all that Star Max slot spun around. Oh, that's very, very unfortunate for him. Very bad start for Star Max slot. He was hoping to keep that. I think E3 he got in quali, but he was hoping to keep that place. But now Worship the Panda has gone rid of him, and now he's spun out as well. So, very careful start. No, not too many incidents, but as we expect, just 13 cars. So I think everybody's just taking chill pill on the first lap here and just doing the race and trying to get into the rhythm as quickly as possible. Because once you get in the rhythm, that's where you get the pace from, and that's what determines who wins or who gets the positions in this race. Very normal first lap, I would say. Cars going around, a lot of distance between them, so they're starting to stretch out a bit already in this race. So, interesting what the pace is going to be, but yep, first lap shenanigans not expected for this race.
Yep, luckily we've only had one incident so far. I think Star Max, there was a yellow flag being waved for car number 7 of Star Max, but yeah, it's gone now. So far, Starboy is one of the drivers who's lost out positions from that chicane, the S's which you said.
Yeah, sorry, I think that was Star Max Road, but it was Star Boy in the Ferrari.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
I was confused.
Yeah, so yeah, I think we've had another yellow flag. Wait, I think it was. Yeah, it was the Ferrari of Noob. So yeah, the Ferrari is not having a good day.
Yep. It would have been good if Masoom was here. That was definitely the case.
Yep, Davlish has been having it quite easy since his last 2-3 races. Due to the lack of on-track competition.
Yeah, definitely. As we see, Davlish already pulling a massive gap of 4 seconds just on the first lap. I think that's going to be pretty much the case throughout this race. It's going to be interesting to see how many cars he will be lapping at the end of the race, but because I wouldn't be surprised if it was. But we see it on track action here between the BMWs, MJK, and Shock going side by side, going into the Koushik, and let's see what's going to happen. I think that's MJK coming off FIFA Kanak.
Yep, that's his name, FIFA Kanak.
Yeah. So both BMWs running very similar liveries. Can the BMWs they can change the liveries, right? Or is it log?
I think they can change liveries.
Interesting that they're both running the stock liveries here, but anyways, I think they were just not bothered with running custom liveries. But anyways, MJK makes the move. Very good move from MJK. It's going to be crucial for him. If he was faster, that was a crucial move, because getting stuck behind the car, slower car in front, that's going to ruin your race, because you're going to lose seconds of lap time throughout the entire race, and it could be the decisive factor between you finishing on the podium or you finishing like P5 or P6. So very good for him to get the move done. Now he has to put his head down and just keep pushing and close up the gap to the other two guys on the podium right now. You see KC66 already on P10, so he's made up for that disqualification in qualifying, but as we expected, it's not a big deal. He can still make up positions here because Starboy already spun out, but he's actually very close to KC here, so these guys are actually very close. So yeah, KC is going to be one other guy who we have to watch out for, because he's not that fast, but he can definitely put up some great fights with the other guys who have similar pace. So yep, that's one thing to watch out for. Meanwhile, let's see what's gonna happen. Worship the Panda actually is in P2 right now. So what happened to Noob? Noob is in 6th position. What happened to Noob? That's very interesting. He's dropped behind both MJK and FIFA Kanak, and now even Shrock as well. He was on P2, I think, on lap 1. So that we see BMW going very wide, almost pushing into the Oros. That was a very bad picture to look at because of the flashbacks of 2019 F2 race. But anyways, that was very hair racing moment for him. He kept it on track. I don't think he has any damage, but we're not sure. See what's gonna happen. Meanwhile, we see KC going side by side with Supreme Leader, I think. Oh, Yep, you see him going side by side there. He's going around the outside of Starboy, trying to keep the position, and he manages to keep the position there. Very good racing from KC as we see here. Yep, let's see what's gonna happen.
Koushik, you might lose stream for a second. Just
Yep, it's fine.
yep. I hope it's back for you now.
Yep, it's now. Yep, it's lagging not that much better than previous, but it's fine. It's fine now. Join. Someone join the commentary box. Nirma joined the commentary box.
Hello, Nirma. You are muted.
Hello guys, hello. Yes, I was muted at one point. Hello, it's a lovable Washington.
You were bored as well today, or will scheduled to come for the commentary?
I mean, officially I was just scheduled, but just between you and I was bored. That's it.
It's
Oof.
fun.
Yes.
As you see, Starboy and Casey still fighting around. Casey goes a bit wide on the exit of first corner. We're coming back to this fight once again. They go side by side, almost going into the entry of a Rouge, but Casey just cuts ahead of Starboy there. Goes ahead,
Watching
but
this battle for a few laps on the live stream. Yep, I was watching the live stream as well while doing some little bit work. Casey had a very beautiful move on Tour of Gouda, as I would say had a karma moment since he did block past 3 people on the lap 1. So Casey won my heart there by giving him basically what he did to all the cars and not giving him space, as Uro went a bit wide this time, not managing to go as wide as he went last time, cutting off the track. So good karma moment right there.
I didn't know that actually. That's a good insight coming from Nirma there. We didn't know that Casey actually had contact with cars and made his way that way. But yep, it's fine now. I think it's gonna be sorted out after the race, maybe when people report these incidents. But as you see, MJK is actually having very tough time keeping the car on track. I think he was the one who went off on the top of the Rouge and almost crashed into the barriers. So very hard situation for him there. He's struggling because he made the mistake on FIFA Kanak, and I was expecting him to pull away a bit, but I guess he did. Oh, was a very dangerous re-entry from Helium. I think that was. He saw the racing line. Oh my god.
And he gets rear-ended by his car. This is something you'd not expect from people like Helium. But then if your draw distances are lower in the game settings, you will not see the cars come up until it's too late. So it's up for the stewards to decide after they see the replay files, but that's completely unacceptable from a driver of the caliber of Helium.
Yep, I think he just teleported back to the pits there. I think he's very angry with himself perhaps. Will he continue? I don't think so. He might be too angry, but as you see, KC66 now, as he got past Tarmax, is now very close to Supreme Leader Aladdin. So these 3 guys will be having a good fight now, as we saw between the KC and Starboy. Now we have a 3-car battle for P6 here, and Aladdin, very hard for him because he's not one of the top guys or even the midfielders. He's had a very torrid time throughout the season and seasons, I would say, being in the back of the grid. But these races like this where there are not many fast cars in front of him, they can actually gain some good points in this race, and if you can keep it on track the next 1 hour and 20 minutes, you can keep it on track. It's a very long time, but opportunities as well for the guys. So if they can keep it on track, it's only very easy for them. But now as we see Starboy pulling aside of Casey, I think Casey may have damage, and that's why he's a bit slow on the straight, because as you see Casey go wide and trying to defend from Starboy, and he does defend from Starboy there.
Acceleration, using the corner acceleration to his advantage, Casey manages to keep P7 alive for the Porsche. Just remember, Porsche has beautiful acceleration but very, very weak on the straight line speed area. So that may be one of the factors, along with damage, that allowed Starboy to get a catapult on him. As we see a BMW of MGK going very wide on the exit. Now we're going into the double left-handers. I do not know the name of. Please do not crucify me. This is where I think Casey will have an advantage on his Porsche and will start pulling out. But it's on the back straight and near the Blanchimont area and the radio area and Kemal Street is where you will start seeing the weaknesses of the Porsche. This is sector 2 is where the Porsche really does come alive, as you see Aladdin dipping his wheels on the gravel, which gives him a slower exit onto the back straight. Even if the top speed of the Audi is good, it will not help him because the acceleration on the Porsche is going to let him reach topper speed. But now if you pay attention, Aladdin is going to come back, but now we're going to enter Blanchimont. Will they be going wheel to wheel? Yes, they are. Now we're going to be entering the bus stop chicane. Aladdin backs off. Does he go for the dive bomb on the inside? He does. He keeps it stuck as we see Starboy also coming into the mix. Gets the move done, cuts out in front of him as Aladdin tries to find a spot. Very aggressive move from Starboy as Aladdin goes on the outside. We keep an eye on Starboy as Casey goes wide. Gives a very big advantage to Starboy as he sticks to his line. Now this is where Porsche is going to fall apart.
Yep, that's what I was about to mention before you took over the commentary there. Porsche lacking on the straight line, and that's what we saw. But Casey keeping very full in the previous lap and defending the position very well. But now Starboy is once again in the position, and Casey is massively down on straight line speed. Now Starboy is very much ahead of Casey. Will Casey dive bomb? No, I don't think so. He's too far behind. Casey goes a bit wide. Who's trying to go around the outside, but Starmax doesn't give the space. But Casey cuts the corner a bit there, and now he has to concede, I think, the place. But now will he dive bomb on the inside there? Casey looking very feisty, but Starboy defending. But we see a BMW. I think that was I think that was Schrock, who is pulled off on the side of the track. They're very unfortunate for him. Meanwhile, but Starboy now has the upper hand on this battle. So these guys. Oh no, we see Casey losing it on the exit there. Very unfortunate for him. I think he might have made some contact with the barriers there. I think it definitely has some damage before. Now he definitely has some damage now.
It's very easy to get oversteered on that corner as you probably don't want to upshift to third gear and you want to stay in second as Casey does a little bit of Tokyo drift around the section. But going back to the topic, you would not preferably want to go to third gear and you want to stick to second, let the engine over rev and then tap on the brakes and then just chuck the car left and hope it sticks. Casey might have had an oversteer moment, keeps it away from the barrier and away from the left barrier as well, but goes onto the grass and as a result probably might have heated tires and has also lost a lot of precious time.
Yep, definitely. Casey was looking very good to fight for that P5 now. Starboy is in, but now he finds himself in the back and the back foot here trying to defend from I think Paurav Gowda, that's the name of the Bentley there. Now MJK is in front of him, so MJK and Schrock, both of the BMWs having a tough time in the opening stages of this endurance, making some mistakes here and there. Schrock especially, we saw him stranded on the right hand side of the exit of the no-name chicane where Casey spun out as well. So yeah, very hard time for those guys, but Casey now needs to get back to his rhythm and start to make some moves and get back to the position where he was before. But the fight for P5 seems to be between only Starboy and Supreme Leader. But since Casey making the mistake, I think Supreme Leader dropped out a bit too far away, and now no, actually he's actually very close. He's actually second behind. I think might have confused the lap times there, the delta times there, but Supreme Leader is actually sticking to Starboy, but it's going to be difficult for him unless Starboy has some damage, and he's struggling as well. It's going to be very hard for Supreme Leader to keep up with Starboy here because Ferraris are pretty good on this track, and Starboy in general is a very good silver class driver. So yeah, let's see what's going to happen. Meanwhile, we see Paurav Gowda still sticking behind Casey. Meanwhile, Casey actually pulled ahead a bit of him. and now he's actually putting pressure on MJK on the BMW here. Might make a move. Oh, that's a bit too oversteery. He's
Very oversteering
drifting.
through Pohon. Very, very oversteering through Pohon.
Yep, he's drifting pretty much throughout the entire of the exit of the pond there. So I think he definitely has some rear damage like that because that car does not look stable. Uh, Meanwhile, we see Beneath on the the Lamborghini making a pit stop, I think, or is he retiring? I'm not sure. Both Stomach Slaughter and Bubnith are in the pits. I think they're making their own and only required pit stop of this endurance race. Meanwhile, Casey is actually quite close to MJK here. Can he make the move? Will the slipstream be enough, or will the brakes of that Porsche will be enough to make a dive bomb onto the final corner? Let's see what's going to happen here. Casey is very close. Oh, yep. Okay. See a bit of lag there in the stream, and Casey does not make the move. Sticks behind. Is very close to MJK, but Supreme Leader actually dropped behind, and now he's actually in the fight now. Now it's very soon. It's about to turn into a 4-car battle. I think maybe even a 5-car battle if Starboy doesn't keep up the pace and start to pull away a bit more, because these guys are very close together. So I think these positions and these cars will be fighting it throughout the endurance races. Sorry, this endurance race, and I think they'll be looking at the end result and where they finished ahead of these guys. Yep, let's see what's gonna happen here as Casey goes onto the Eau Rouge. A bit stable now, not too oversteery as we saw before in the previous corners, but he's too far behind now. He's gonna lose precious lap time as well because that Porsche is not a car on the straight line at all as we saw before. Yep.
Porsche, if it does lack on straight line speed, it does compensate over rails, and that is sector 2 on where it needs to, counter acceleration. There are a few times when I've done open lobbies and Porsches really, really piss me off because when you have a good run on them on the non straights, they always catch back to you and overtake you on these type of corners. And Spa really annoys me when I see Porsches around, but really good job done by Casey as he goes a bit wide. I'm not sure what the criteria is to get a warning over there, but because I have gotten some warnings, going very, very wide over there as we see Casey taking home beautiful this time. Not drifting it, that's like how the Fast and the Furious franchise would want him to. As we go through, as I open my Google app, campus. Alright, now more and learn. Now we're going through Stavalor as we are learning the corner names while we race. Please bear with me.
It's one of my favorite tracks, but I still can't remember all the. It's a bit embarrassing to be honest because such an amazing track. It's one of probably my favorite track, and the same for Assassin as well here. But I don't think he even remembers the corner name. Lot of corners
Also,
and a lot of various names for the corners.
That is true. I am also at fault over here because I do drive a lot on this track as Casey decides to yeet his car over the sausage curbs. As we see the drivers, Panda putting up a lap that I only dreamed to lap in my quali sessions. And you can see Shrock as well with a 220.9 as we see Aladdin.
Oh no.
Not looking the right way, sir.
No,
please.
no.
Yes, that's not the right way.
Yeah, that was what I was talking about. Let's just keep it on track because races like this don't actually happen often. Endurance plus missing the front runners. It's a golden mine for the silver class and lower midfield class to gain some points. But as we saw, they're quite maybe a costly mistake for the Aladdin there, but still in top 10. But it might prove crucial for him at the later stages when all these guys start to pull away. They get into the rhythm, and Aladdin will find very hard to catch up with these guys once these guys pull a massive gap on him. So, yep, let's see what's gonna happen here.
If Aladdin is smart about his pit stop, he will probably be able to catch up to them because if you look at Purav Gowda and Casey right now, Purav is going to be losing a lot of time staying behind Casey and try to overtake him. Whereas if he would have been when it reaches the 1 hour mark, and if he knows, given the case that he is quicker than Casey, he can obviously go ahead of Casey, but then he will have much more worn out rubber by the end of the race. But then he should be given the fact that the fact remains that he has a large gap, which can keep into account that he has worn out rubber, and Casey will catch up to him, but he needs to be confident enough that he will maintain the lead in terms of positions with Casey. I have done that, and I did gain a position. I think I gained 20 seconds on Madhav because in the British GP in the Silverstone race, I had a lot of damage. Silverstone not one of my favorite tracks in F1 and ACC as well. I had damage. I bid it early, I think on the 1 hour 10 minute mark. So I did the entire hour on 1 hour 2 hours. But I did pull out a 20-second gap on Madhav, Charlotte. So that does work sometimes.
Will these guys change tires? Do you think is the tire wear enough for them to warrant 10 seconds or 20,
I wouldn't
15
say
seconds
so.
each time?
I wouldn't say so. The 15 seconds they're going to save because of no tire change is not worth it. As we have seen with Casey, it's just 1 hour 8 minutes and he's already drifting to 2 hours. Imagine what's going to be when they're going through Rouge and Radion.
Yeah. But these guys are so close together, so maybe some guys will not actually do the tire wear change and just try to jump ahead of these guys. Especially maybe if someone has a lot of pace but they can't overtake someone. Maybe they'll try to gain it through the pit stop by reducing that pit stop time.
Case, but then we also need to keep in account that it's a pretty open track, so there are a lot of chances of people getting warnings. As here we go, Kuragora getting a bit of an oversteer on the exit as in turning into the bomb. Casey goes very wide. There you go. It's already 1 hour 7 minutes, and he's already losing control of his car. There's no way that he can finish.
He must have damage. He must have damage because there's no way those are just tires. Either he has some ridiculous pressure really have some damage, because look at that car. He's barely keeping it on.
But his lap times are pretty okay. It's 2:21 his last lap, so
yeah, but
I'm not really sure what's going on.
But other lap is almost crashing it into the wheels.
That is true, but it is a Porsche. It's a very, very attractive car. But then I didn't pay attention while watching the stream in the chat room. I didn't pay attention to what happened to Casey. I just paid attention to what Kurov did on lap 1, and that completely pissed me off as he blocked 3 cars and he went past. But Casey got a revenge on him, and that completely brought the soul back to base. So I would want to see Casey finish way higher as he was in the running order before spinning out.
Yep, definitely. Meanwhile, what are the more interesting talk about? Nob is starting to make his way back onto the podium, I think. He had some incident, I don't know which one. Maybe you can check in the replays, maybe in the first 1 or 2 laps. I'm very sure that he was in the podium position in lap 1 or at the end of the lap 1 as well. But something must have happened. Maybe he got caught out with a mistake or something, and he fell down like P6 at one point, and now he's back onto P4, and I think he's chasing FIFA Kanak, who actually kept it clean. He might have not had the pace over other BMW who he was fighting with, but they both, Chalk and MJK, both made some pretty big mistakes, and now they're very far behind. So FIFA Kanak doing very well to keep it on track and keep it going. In this still 1 hour left, so it can be crucial for him to keep that consistency and sort of turn off those mistakes that other drivers are doing. I mean, well, we see Noob actually making a lot of lap time. Just in the first sector, he gained 3/10, I think. Now he's going to gain a bit more, because I definitely think he's a faster driver, because looking at the qualifying and how close he was to Davlising, so he's definitely the faster driver, I would say. Yeah, meanwhile, we see battle still raging between Casey and Paurav Goda. Casey is still drifting that car around, trying to keep it on track, but also trying to gain some sort of traction to have a move on the Bentley of Paurav Goda. What do you say of the Bentley, Nirma? I'm not sure how the Bentley performs on this track.
I tried the Bentley before the 1.8 patch, way before the 1.8 patch, just to get a feel of the cars. Back when I only had 50 hours in the game, the Bentley felt very floaty, not of my taste, but it's a car that can eat curves for breakfast. So you can really yeeted on the curbs as proud of is just playing up in front of the Porsche. And Porsche obviously cannot. It's one of the few cars that cannot take curbs well. The McLaren, also one of them. One of my favorite cars though, the McLaren. But the Bentley can basically eat the curbs, and it's pretty susceptible to damage. It's a pretty heavy car, a pretty bulky car at that, but it can drive. And if you can get used to the floatiness, it's gonna serve you well. But
Yep.
Porsche, on the other hand, if you can tame the beast, it's gonna take you to places where you've never dreamed of going.
Definitely.
In this case, it is taking KCs to new heights every few laps. But there are also a few laps where KC cannot do much, and he's just riding around. As you can now see, KC now takes it beautifully and see this how it takes beautifully. If you can just finesse everything the car has, it's your beast.
Yep. Well, Tavali is saying still in the lead very comfortably. I was almost 19 seconds, 20 seconds ahead of Panda, I think. So, yeah, 18 seconds ahead of Panda there. So, very comfortable race. But even now, even if he makes mistake, he definitely has the pace and consistency to do a last to first challenge at this point. I think maybe even he will try it, because if he gets to board, maybe I'll definitely try it. If I was in his positions and it's an endurance race like this, I'll definitely be bored and I'll definitely do like a ridiculous pit stop and get behind those cars and try to have some fun and
I
play around with those guys.
I think he can just pit for a fresh set of tires. Then he would probably fall behind Panda. Then, he'd have something to do in this race.
Yeah, definitely. Uh, so it's that meme once again for WC India, that suffering from success kind of meme, where he's too bored but also needs to be in P1, but he's also too bored to be in P1. So in that sense, he's maybe having fun but also not having fun at the same time. But Panda doing very well as well in P2. You see Casey, what's happened here? Aladdin got in front of him. Did they make contact or something happened to them?
He's dropped 4 positions. He was in front of Pura. No, he was in P6. Now he's in P7. Now he's in P10. So 3 positions.
Yeah, I think he definitely made one more mistake there. I think the damage is starting to up on him.
I could go into the chase cam to see if he's actually got any damage. Do you see any?
No, I don't think so. It doesn't look like that, but suspension damage, you don't see it now in the replay cam. So
It does seem like he has about 10 seconds damage from my perspective. Because the front bumper. So it might affect his aero, so that's my take on it.
if you see him going behind Aladdin here, so Aladdin now has something to fight for. He's not in that bad of a situation. So this might go for the entirety of the race. People making mistakes, people in front making a lot of mistakes, people behind making a lot of mistakes, and shuffling around a lot in terms of positions. If they can just not throw it into the barriers, I think they can fight till the end, because none of them seems to be consistent except the top 4, top 5. All the other guys have already made mistakes or are about to make mistakes soon. So yeah, let's see what's gonna happen.
Yep.
In the famous words of Lewis Hamilton, it's a marathon, not a sprint race. Before it goes straight on in the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, not even
Ooh, I was a bit wide on
500 meters.
Casey there. He took a bit too much cover. I don't think you should be taking in the Lacombe chicane there. Oh my god. I thought he spun around again.
Lacombe chicane, in my opinion, I think he took it pretty well. You basically shift down to second on the entry, chuck the car inside. Either you short shift up to third or you stay in second. Chuck the car to the left. That's not how you chuck the car around the world. You just drive it. You don't chuck it.
No grip at all. Like they didn't, once he downshifts and puts in any resemblance of a steering input into that car, just comes around on him. So it's very. But yeah, as we were talking before, and it's very different how F1 and GT cars approach that chicane, because F1 cars very much sort of raging into the corner, into the entry, and go uh, very wide onto the entry. Very narrow onto the entry curve, then go wide on the exit of the first corner in the Lecom chicane, and they have the downforce to sort of come back to the left hand side to make the exit for the Lecom chicane exit. But these cars don't have that benefit, so they have to stick pretty much to the inside curve throughout the Lecom chicane. They have to use the entry curve on the right hand side, get onto the curve on the left hand side and keep on that curve, but and just keep very close to the curve on the entry as well before you make it to the exit. But I think Casey in the last lap, he actually went a bit too much on entry curve, on the second entry curve on the left side, and he sort of understeered wide onto the exit, and so that's not optimal for him. While we see Noob here still behind FIFA Kanak, he's slowly making his way towards him, so maybe a few laps before we see them battling. Meanwhile, we see Starboy here keeping it consistent, and it's actually very close to Noob. 2 seconds, not actually big of a gap. So maybe these two guys are faster than FIFA Kanak in that BMW, and maybe we'll see a 3-car fight soon in a few laps time. That's going to be interesting to look out for.
For my part, I hope that something happens,
Yeah,
or I'm just going to randomly keep switching between cars.
Can we go on board lap 1 or 2? I'm sure he had some incidents, so maybe you can check out the
Sorry,
replay.
could you repeat your last?
Noob, onboard Noob
Yeah.
with replay on lap 1 or lap 2.
Okay.
Because I don't think there's much action happening right now, so it's a good time to go back. Where did we start? Oh yeah, there's the incident. Yeah, Helium hit Noob there. I think Helium he just did he outwork himself? I don't think so because he was still steering,
Yeah.
but that was a very weird one.
Oof,
And
and
now he
then.
gets tapped again by
Oh, Casey.
AC.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was what Nirma was talking about in lap 1 incidents with AC
Yeah,
making contact.
that was probably because if you see here, Noob abruptly braked to avoid contact with Panda. And there you go. And he just like slowed down enough,
Yeah,
and
I think he
Helium.
was trying to cut it back, trying to give Panda space and just cut it back and take a very low sort of exit, get the acceleration, but Helium didn't anticipate it. Slowing down too much and changing the direction. It just went into this back. So very hard to judge if it was a racing incident or a mistake from Helium. Anyways, very unfortunate for Noob, but now he's trying to make up for that loss. As we saw before, Noob and Starboy slowly catching back up to FIFA Kanak. I think they'll be the podium contenders. As we see, both KC and Supreme Leader coming into pits here. Already make this stop. They're going to make their stop in the pit lane. Let's see what's going to happen. Can one of them jump the other, or it's going to be the plain sailing pit stop for both of them? Let's see.
Are they heading out or are they going in?
Not sure. I think they're coming into the pits here.
Yeah, because the pit lane is on the other side when you compare it to the F1 pit lane.
Yeah,
So I wasn't really sure.
Because people stop on the original one as well, right? Because in endurance, like when you have 40, or do they stop only on these pit lanes here?
I think Nirma would be the better person to answer that question if he's
But
here.
for the endurances, this is usually the pit stop for ACC. You take the long route. So if you have drive through for this race, you're better off just leaving the race and calling it quits for the day.
No, no.
So
What I meant was like, can they, like this pit stops here on the right hand side, right? Where Starboy is, where you usually stop in F1. Do people take those pit stops as well there, or all of them have to come down to the downhill pit stops?
there are chances you are given that. I'm not sure. I haven't seen anyone with there, but I would say if the grid is all 40 people or more for these huge endurance races, I would say then there are chances you are given that pit stop. Otherwise, if it's as small as 20, you will be given the pit stops before rally on.
Okay. Yep, that makes sense. Yep. Where did they come out? Aladdin and its team's quality has gone down a bit. Very hard to see what's happening. Anyways, I think that's KC66. We're on board now.
Sorry, it was K6 and Aldin who were close to each other
Yeah,
pit stop. So,
yeah. Those were the guys.
um, not sure, but I think yeah, KC is actually quite far ahead of Aldin. Wonder
So
what happened
maybe
there.
Aladdin had not an optimal pit stop. He lost a lot chunk of time in the pit stops as well. Or maybe he put on new tires and KC didn't. That could be a thing. Or maybe the fuel they're carrying might be a bit different. That way they can change the amount
Well,
of time they're in the pits as well.
whatever it is keeping me on my toes right now because he's right behind FIFA Kanak.
Yep.
And it's also, and these two guys are also you know, against each other now. They're close to each other.
Wait, why is KC behind FIFA? Is he being lagged?
Yeah, Casey has been lapped because FIFA Kanak
Yeah.
hasn't made his pit stop yet.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, these guys are fighting very hard as we see Starboy. I think that going very side by side. Both Firas going side by side, going very good. Oh, what the hell? What was that? Oh, sorry for my language there, but what was that? That was so unexpected. Why
Did he
did
just brake check him?
that like
Whoa.
that didn't even look like Brexit? It was like reset it back on how abruptly Starboy stopped. But no, he definitely has some damage because he's rushed back to the pitch now. I think he'll try
It's
to.
just, yeah.
Yeah, we definitely had to watch it back. It was very bizarre. What a bizarre incident there between both the Ferraris because they were looking very good to get that like an axe zone, but they had to get into this fight. Ooh, what happened here? Both of them went wide. What? Why did Starboy stop?
Yeah, I think this can be a better angle. Yeah, there we go. He just stopped.
He just
He
stopped.
not only did he stop, he also swerved a bit to the right if you slow it down.
Yeah,
Not only did he
what?
stop, he swerved a bit to the right.
That was very bizarre. Unless he had some like real life issues with his brakes or something. That is
Hello, officer. Hello, officer. I
Oh.
would like to report a murder
yeah. Both of them are
on,
off track.
on Blanchama.
That's going to be talked about a bit after. Both of them were off track and both of them contact somehow. So.
Here you go. See, this was a bit to
What?
the right for some reason.
I think Noob wasn't doing anything untoward or something ridiculous. Because he's off track,
That
so
was a
he's
good
trying to
save.
get.
Though.
Yeah,
That was a good save. Though.
yeah. So he's off track and he's trying to get back on track. But Starboy just stomped on the brakes and is parked. He's trying to get back on track, so that was very weird. So I think Noob is trying to fix his damage here, so he might be losing chunk of time to FIFA Connect. So yeah, podium is a bit of a far fetch. Even the 50 minutes left now, FIFA Connect has been very consistent. He was not many mistakes, even though he's a bit slow, like half a second slower than these guys lap. But he's not making mistakes. So if these guys drop a bit too far behind, so I don't see how they can get back on podium. So yeah, very unfortunate for them. Make that contact, and now that podium hope seems to be up in the air. I think Noob has served both his pit stop requirements and also might have repaired his damage. And hopefully he'll be hoping for some good times and hoping that the damage fixed his car enough for him to have a smooth race now from now on. It's about 50 minutes left, so still a long way to go. Yeah, let's see what's gonna happen.
Davlisha is having a casual Sunday drive here, and hold on. I think another driver has left the
I think it's
race.
Starmax.
Star
I think
Max
it's
and
Starmax.
Helium had already left. One more driver in between left also, and oh, there we go. Aldin racked up a D3 in this.
There you go. Yeah, like I said, you will have drivers getting warnings in this race. There's no way because of so many runoff.
Okay,
One of the biggest culprits for those drive-throughs will be the exit on turn 11 for Brussels and Wuhan possibly or maybe Belgium, not sure. But definitely Brussels, turn 11 and Radio is where you're going to get these drive-throughs. Right
Yep.
here where Aladar is going, yeah, this is where. If you go that wide, there's a very big chance you will get it.
I think Rouge is a more bigger problem for this, especially on the exit. If you like don't do the optimal line on the entry, it's extremely easy to go off track in Rouge. Especially if you don't have the right car setup, don't have enough downforce or don't have enough mechanics. It's going to be a very hard 50 minutes in endurance race in general for you because every lap you're going to be on the limit, just trying to keep it on track, fighting the car with understeer and oversteer to keep it on track. But yeah, Starboy is now behind Noob. Wait, how did he end up behind Noob? I thought he didn't. Wait, Noob. Is that Starboy or is it someone else? Very hard to see.
Yep,
I think that is Starboy, right?
Yeah, that is. We are on board Starboy. Yes, he might have picked up more damage with me, in that
Yeah,
because of
yeah,
which he
that's a
had longer pit
possibility.
stop. I mean,
Yeah, that's a possibility.
yeah, Noob like literally just went into him, like almost T-boned him. So, I mean, not Noob's fault, obviously, but yeah, might have picked up some extra damage because of that.
So now let's see. I think Panda is very close to them to lap these guys. Is that right? It's looking like that. But who's in the pit? It's Paurav Gowda, I think, in the pits.
Yep.
So he's looking good and comfortable for that midfield position, which Casey was fighting for. Let's see where Casey is. It's been a long time since we saw back, and is he still fighting the car, or is he getting time, or what's happening?
He was just sticking behind FIFA Kanak, but now he's built up that gap to him. So yeah, he is dropping back a little. The next driver in front of him is Starboy, who is 21 plus, I don't know, 24 seconds ahead of him.
Even though his P8 has already been, that shows the difference in terms of both pace and consistency and how the race was spun out for these guys. The establishing just having a Santa Cruz, as you said, very comfortable race for him. Might be sleeping a bit at the steering wheel, but he needs to be alert because he doesn't want to serve the same fate that these other guys are going through every lap. I think that's establishing coming to the pits. I think he's going to serve his one and only pits. He changed tires, really had a lot of fuel. Let's see.
I have a feeling even if you give Davlish a writer engineering car, he'd still fly off into the horizon and just have fun. But while listening to music on his iPod shuffle. Yes, no, maybe. They just be cool.
What is that?
I was saying, if you give Davlish a writer engineering and everyone, if you give everyone the same car, he's just gonna fly from the horizon and listen to music on his iPod shuffle while he races and still win the races.
Yeah, definitely. Even writer, as far as I know, just lacks lap time, but the amount of pace advantage in completion, it's a no-brainer for him. But Aladdin going off track, what happened here? I think he might have made contact.
I think
he's just given up.
Yeah, I think he's gonna leave. Yep, he's gone.
Yep.
Bye.
So this endurance race is taking a toll on all these guys. A lot of them maybe don't have patience, maybe are just don't want to be miserable for the rest of the race. So they had so many incidents and they're just driving very damaged cars. So they might see no point in racing anymore. That's very unfortunate for them because looking good at one point and
I
looking
mean,
good for
I
this.
would say no matter where you finish, you still got to participate because the points that these endurance races bring to you when starting, it's humongous. So it's
Yep,
going to be
definitely.
very crucial for you to get these points so that you can build either a gap or you can at least have bragging rights. Because, mind you, even if you're not winning, having the bragging rights to finish P4 or 5 out of 40 or 50 people grid, that's a pretty big bragging rights if you ask me.
Yep, definitely. Uh, who else is there? Did you change the quality assassin? Because I think it's gone to like 144p for me, the stream. I'll just
I
refresh it.
I don't know what happened. Let me check.
Been 144p for me for the past 1 hour because I have been downloading a game on Steam, so I can't. I noticed no difference.
Now my internet's fine and still it's okay, so it's fine. Anyways, CKC66, I think it's in P8 still, so still long way behind Starboy, but KC's pit seemed awfully a lot less time than Supreme Leaders. Maybe he didn't fuel up that much, or maybe he didn't change his tires. Something might have happened there. So yeah, let's see what's gonna happen with him for the rest of the race.
I hope the quality is a bit better for you now.
Gone my quality, gone.
Quality.
Quality is better, but it's like 1 FPS.
Oh damn.
Yeah,
I
it's literally.
We went FPS
So,
racing, Toto.
oh, now it's back. It's
Now it's back. Let's go. Gracias ragazzi, tutti bene. Oh no, never mind.
it's gone again.
yep,
It's gone.
probably
Gone. My FPS gone.
it's
I think it
probably
might be RAM, maybe.
it's probably Windows update doing something in the background.
Oh
Would
no.
be that.
Wait, do you have Windows Update in the background?
I don't think so.
Check once.
Nothing.
Just
There's.
pause it if you have, because if you have a Windows Update, it's like a death penalty for your PC to do any sort of multitasking or anything.
It doesn't look like
How
my.
dare you, Bill Gates?
It doesn't look like my PC has anything running the background. I think it's something on Discord's end only. I'm afraid I can't
Yeah.
do much
You
about it.
you can always delete system 32 to make the system go faster.
Discord is actually quite unoptimized sometimes. I think how it deals with video processing, so it takes up too many resources more than it needs, to be honest. But yeah, it's fine. Anyways, now I think the stream is a bit better. It's not lagging as much, and the quality is well. KC66 is trying to slowly fight his way back. I think the nearest car is Shock. Both of them seems to be on the same lap, so I think that's a straight fight for now because other guys are almost 20 seconds ahead of them. So that's gonna be interesting. Where did Noob go? Again, Noob and Starboy are back being close to each other. So after that big major contact, uh, they're still very much off the podium, I would say, because it's like 20 seconds of podium. Uh, but still, there's 40 minutes left, so anything could happen. For now, these two guys are very close to each other. So let's see what's gonna happen once again, as it's like Noob versus Starboy 420 2.0. Let's see what's gonna happen. Hopefully, they battle a bit more cleaner this time around. Starboy definitely does not need to brake check Noob in order to defend his position. Yeah, let's see.
Hold on, guys. I'll be back in a second. I'll just
Yep,
keep this camera on.
yep.
Camera, but it's just slideshows for me.
Oh, no, it's back. Right. It's on. It's like it's going to that laggy stream and it's coming back. Go to
Yes,
1 second.
essentially speaking. I mean, I cannot commentate or anything. I cannot understand what's going on.
It's fine. It's fine. At least we get to see the delta times now on the leaderboard. But yeah, these guys are very close. Starboy, no, very close once again. They're going. They were before when they had contact. Can they keep it clean this time around? Now it's Starboy who is behind Noob. I don't think they'll try to make those risky moves once again. Now Noob uh, doesn't need to do that move on Starboy, but see what's gonna happen. They're going to the final chicane. Is anyone? Oh, Starboy! Noob was very wild. Starboy gets that position. I think Noob was pressurized into a mistake, perhaps. And I didn't see any contact being made. So I think Noob was definitely pressurized into a late braking and just going really wide. And once you're on the marble, just gonna keep going wide and wide, wide. So Noob conceded that position now. Can Does he have the pace to keep up with Starboy? That's a very unusual question to ask because Noob looked like much faster than the other guys, and so he looked much more comfortable at the early phases of the race. Of the race, half of the race, he looked like the faster car pretty much throughout, especially apart from the top two guys. But now he seems to be finding himself behind Starboy, lacking a bit of pace. Let's see what's gonna happen. Starboy, does he have the pace to pull ahead of Noob? And the more important thing for him is not actually fight with the Noob because a podium might be up for grabs because there's still 38 minutes left. So if he gets consistent, gets into his rhythm, starts to find some pace, will actually start fighting for that P3 once again that they were fighting. They were very close to P3 level. They were like 2 seconds behind when they were fighting for P4, and then that's when they had this contact. But now they could once again get themselves back to that position. Let's see what's going to happen there.
Going back to the corner on the back straight, this is where what really is an essential corner for you. If you can get a very good exit over here, going through Belgium is going to be really easy for you to take. As is a Starboy flying off into the distance. At least this time they did not touch, which is a very good thing. So thank you, God, for the blessings.
So Noob doesn't seem to have the pace to keep up with Starboy at the moment. So he dropped almost a second behind uh, Starboy just that lap. So yep, he needs to find some pace as well. So both of these guys need to push each other, not make mistakes, and both of them try to catch up with podium guy in the third place, Tifa Kanak. Once again, doing a very good job there. But Panda and Davi Singh in the race of their own, might be a very sleepy race for them because of how incredibly out of how do you say the out of group they were, and still they are very much leaps and bounds ahead of everybody else and to each other as well. So everybody's chilling down a bit now. We're done with first half of the race and 10 minutes more as well. So we're coming into the final trimester of the race. You could say the final 30 minutes. This is when you'll be stretched in terms of your how you can still stay attentive in the final field. Top two guys and the guys who have not been battling, not had too much drama, something to talk about in this race. They might be feeling a bit bored and start to lose that concentration a bit, and maybe will some catastrophic mistakes happening from them. Hopefully not, at least for their sake. But for us, it's going to be very interesting. But for their sake, they will be hoping for not that. Meanwhile, we see Paula Gordo is in P9. Ooh, that's interesting because I think, it was P6 or P7 before the pit stops. He was much ahead of Casey, but now he seems to be behind Casey. So,
And he's still yet to make his pit stop.
oh really? Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, what happened here then? Part of I remember seeing him going to pits. So but I think he didn't satisfy the stop requirements or something like that because I definitely saw him going to pits. I think like 10 minutes back or 15 minutes back ago. So yeah, that's very unfortunate for him. Meanwhile, you see Casey, how far is he? Not that far behind actually. He's still keeping close behind, almost like 4 seconds behind. Schlock is Casey 66. Uh, Meanwhile, Noob once again. It's not faster than Starboy, but not that much slower this lap. Just I think three tenths he's dropped to Starboy there. Who was that pitting? Paurav Gowda is pitting, I think. Yeah. Hopefully he successfully completes his pit stop requirements. Oh, that was weird. I saw Ferrari flying into the air. But that was just a decent issue, I think. Anyways, let's see what the gaps are. Oh, still 20 seconds. So both these Ferraris are not making the impact they would be hoping for to get that P3. So very unfortunate for them. But again, 30 minutes left. Anything could happen in the final stages of this race. You see Paurav Gowda once again making the pit stop, trying to make the pit stop, hoping that he could satisfy the requirements there, not having to come back on the track, but still having to make one more pit stop. That'd be disastrous for him, pretty much. I think he's pretty much the final runner of this year because everybody else has retired. Look at those gaps, lot of stretched out gaps. Like everybody is in a different sector, pretty much, with respect to each other, as apart from these two Ferraris. So, yeah, that seems to be only the on track action right now. You guys, I'll be back in 2 minutes. I'll just drink some water and come back.
I'm busy having my dinner myself, so yeah, you can go ahead.
I will be then hijacking this stream with
Please do. Thank you.
what I see is a slideshow because I'm already downloading a game which I should possibly pause. Yes, I will do that sacrifice for IRC. I shall pause the download. Yes, there we go. And does it get better? No, it does not. Very interesting. Give me a moment while I try to fix this. Alright, we're back live again. As we see no powering up on the bus stop chicane. Couldn't get out of the mall for some reason. As we now enter the source before going straight on to the Camel Straight as he is trying to hunt down Starboy. Not possibly getting the move done on it for some reason as we have lots of muscle online. Good evening, muscle. Your friendly, what do you call your friendly competitor, Tablish Singh, is casually going to win just because he weren't here. He didn't have any competition. Anyways, going back to the race at hand, we have Tablish at P1 with Lamborghini. Going around, I'm not sure. Is that the back straight? Is he going to yeah, he's going to go to Shimmer. I could not tell because I'm getting pretty bad frame rates for some reason. It stopped, of course. God help me. I'm not sure what's going on now. There it is. These things casually rounding up the sauce. Now goes on to the tedious way to do radio, where he will then he'll be lonely throughout chemistry. Very depressing to him drive without any battles. I feel depressed. As we have 30 minutes of casual center drive for this thing, and no is kind of catching up to Starboy.
Yep, I'm back, and yeah, it's been a pretty boring. I think 10 to 15 minutes, past 10 to 15 minutes, because there's been no so it's very hard to commentate on these sort of scenarios. There's nothing going on, nothing else you can talk about. But I'm curious, Nirma, what you're doing these days? Doing ACC races anymore?
Me?
Yep.
Not really. I am back home in Mumbai for Eid al-Fitr. So I'm going to be leaving back for Pune on the 8th.
Hmm.
So I have not been sim racing for the past 1 week. All I've been doing is chilling and playing Arma 3.
You getting the new F1 game?
I am not getting any F1 games. I'm sorry to say that. I just cannot. I cannot go through the heartbreak. I'm not joking. Let me go to my library on Steam. I think I only have about barely 10 hours in the game, barely 50 hours. Let me check.
Same for me. I think I barely have 50 as well, because this game I think was probably not been a good game for the past 5 years. This was the probably the worst game. Yeah. Just copy pasting everything. So, anyways, going back to this, yeah, we have 28 minutes left on the clock. Noob and Starboy still staying close, I would say, relatively close to each other, still trying to find some time to get back on pole position. Meanwhile, FIFA Naga is doing an excellent job, as we were talking before, keeping it very consistent. The lap times are not that bad as well. The reference is Starboy and Noob, and he's not losing much time to them. So that means he's doing very good lap times. He's keeping it consistent. He pretty much hasn't made a single mistake throughout the entire race. So I think he definitely deserves this podium uh, over the guys behind him. But obviously, fate will judge who's going to be on that podium soon. Well, you see KC66 still P8, still can't get close. Oh, loses
As he
the
goes for
car.
Kansai Drift, he has the soul of the great uh, drifters in him. He is making all of the drifters proud
He's
with
just
that
having
drift.
just having a testing session for him, pretty much basically every lap. Now that he's
Yes.
so far behind and car is so out of control, he's just having fun trying to keep the car on track at
Well,
this
also
point.
going back to the topic on F1, since I really hate the game, I want to go back to it again to put some salt on the wound. I have about 55 hours in the game, and I have more hours on Euro Truck Simulator than on F1 2021.
Yeah,
Yeah, I am not joking. I have more hours on a truck simulator than on 2021.
I think if you just average out the what to say, uh, the players, like some players who've been in the community for a long time. I think if you average that, I think it's been the lowest since like F1 2018. Yeah, all of them, including me. So not a good game, but F1 22, I don't know. For me, I'm trying to sort my life out a bit. So maybe I'll try to get a wheel or two. I mean, wheel soon. Maybe if I get a wheel, but my priority has been to get a PC or something. My laptop couldn't handle this
I
game.
would say you should prioritize getting into armor. It's pretty fun committing war crimes. Just like how Putin is in
I
Ukraine
do
right
have
now.
ARM, and we did play together. I'll check if you remember. Uh,
Yes.
but like my laptop has
I,
been
I,
very
I meant getting more mods and more DLCs. That
okay.
way I have, because I've spent around
Yeah.
2.5k on the game.
It's a good suggestion actually. I might like if I get a PC, like a proper PC, I'll definitely buy some of. But the thing is, there's been this discussion of Arma 4 coming, so maybe it's not a
I
wise
mean,
decision now to
no,
get the
it's not.
mods.
I mean, it is still a wise decision, because if you're going to be in Milsim communities like I am, the mods will not be the vast mods that a Arma 3 has. It will take a long time, at least a year, for them to be converted for Arma 4. So you still have at least a year for Arma 3 before it fizzles out into nothingness, which is not going to be the case, because Arma 2 is still out in uh, the rounds. But Arma 3 has been there since 2013. So,
Yep.
I mean, it's a pretty long time. So, I
I
think
enjoy the game
there's
as
at
well.
least, yeah,
Playing
it's a
with you
pretty good game.
guys, like back in the day, like almost like 2 months ago, I think there were 10 guys in the chat room doing these war crimes. That was a very fun times, man. I miss them.
Yeah, I still remember when I first installed Arma 3. I mean, I don't have the legit copy. I just downloaded the pirated copy just to try it out back when it released, and I thought,
Still,
why is this game empty? Like, there's literally nothing inside. No enemies, no NPCs, nothing. Then I straight away uninstalled it, only to realize that it is a
yeah, it's a jump, to
PvP.
be honest.
It's a multiplayer game.
It's
Yeah,
a great. It's a hit or miss game, I would say. If you just give ACC to a random guy, he will not like it. But then if you give ACC to a sim racer, he's gonna love it. So it's a hit or miss game.
Yeah,
It's made for a very small demographic, with the extreme realism they have. So yeah, it is what it is.
yeah, it piqued
I
my
mean, I
interest
got to
too.
know about it because I think Operator Drewski, if you know him, I
Yes,
got
I do.
suggestions on his video. I've been binge watching him. That's how I got into Arma and got to know about these games, even though I not played much all of them, especially apart from Arma. But I got to know all these sims and stuff like that. Actually, like especially in multiplayer, organizing teams and organizing scenarios, doing
Yes.
these op missions and stuff like that. They're so interesting. Yep,
Well,
definitely
if
something to
you've
check
heard
out.
if you've heard of Dungeons and Dragons, how you role play, it's
Hmm.
Arma's exactly that, but it's more of an AC touch. So how AC has a lot of mods and completely moddable, that's basically Arma, but for another community. And you can have scenario-driven missions like Dungeons and Dragons, where you can completely role, and that's where the
Even
real fun of Arma lies. So it
yeah,
offers to a wide variety of people.
yep, definitely, and even for the guys in community who are probably watching this now, or maybe will come back to watch the replays or something like that. Listening to this, uh, even though they're not racing related, I think mil sims in general are a great genre in terms of gaming. But I think it's presumed that if you are a sim racer, you pretty much also a gamer. So it's not surprising to suggest to you guys to get into some mil sims, and also because we're bored and we have nothing else to talk about because that's nothing happening on the track now.
Oh yeah, by the way, also, did you know that you have kart races possible in Arma? You can do karting
Yeah, yeah,
races
yeah,
in
yeah,
Arma if you have the Apex DLC.
yeah. I've seen that DLC as well. Yeah, that's very. How's the physics? How's the physics of the car? Did you try it?
It's a game made in 2013 and the physics are garbage. Trust me. I've done the cards. I think I'm in the world top 500 for some reason. And when the first obstacle for the cards, I think it barely took me like 10 seconds. But the first lap I did was 20 seconds. I'm like, what rank am I? And I was in the world bottom 10%. Then I found out the ways how to drive the card like efficiently in Arma. For some reason, I don't know why I grinded that specific thing. More I grinded, more than what I grinded for F1 2021. And I finally got in the world top 5%. So there we go.
Can we organize races in karting in Arma 3?
Yes, you can actually. But we
Oh,
will
nice.
need someone to host the server and you will need some forwarding in that case.
If it's anything
Hosting
racing,
so
I'm sure Koushik will be excited to jump in.
yes, racing and Arma. Yes, racing and Arma. Who would have thought? You can actually make your own circuits if you're a Zeus. So Zeus is basically a person who is a god-like person who can
Maybe,
control everything. He can spawn in enemies, he
maybe,
can spawn in weapons.
yeah. Maybe you can get like a hybrid server running where it's pretty much like Drive to Survive,
Yeah,
but Drive to Survive, but literally.
we had a server for. We can actually do that. Actually, not bad. We can actually do that.
Yeah, like we have enemies trying to shoot the guys down, where we drive around in cars trying to try to survive.
I'm gonna do some test. I'm gonna do some test runs. Yeah, I'm gonna do some test runs on my side of Arma and see what goes better. So at least we can have something running for the
Yeah.
people who own Arma at least.
I think Casey's had another Tokyo Drift moment out of Puhan. Might have missed.
Really?
Yeah.
It's completely second nature now. Even if you Tokyo drifts now,
But it
I'll be
didn't seem
completely
like
blind to it. Because I've gotten used to it.
it dropped too much time to Shock though in P7. Maybe Shock made a mistake as well. Maybe. I thought he made a mistake there.
his car looks pretty whacked up based on these.
Definitely.
Look at
Bodywork taken a bit of damage, definitely.
Gonna
Meanwhile,
unsee Mission Vino on a Porsche. I'm never gonna unsee that.
what's happening with P4 Starboy?
Did you guys pay attention to it?
Yeah, what?
Did you pay attention to Casey's livery? It says Mission Vino on the left side. His car for some reason. Why does the Porsche have that? I don't know. I cannot unsee it though.
I guess he left Ferrari and he was done with Ferrari now. Or maybe Casey loves Ferrari too much.
Grande lavoro, grande macchina, forza Porsche.
I mean, yeah, these are all the stickers that are there on the actual Ferrari car itself, the F1 car. F1
maybe he likes the Ferrari livery, but doesn't like just transfer that livery to Porsche. And
do not talk about liveries to me. I have made 2 liveries for 2 different seasons. One is the anime livery. I think it was pretty popular in season 3.
Yeah. I remember.
And then now I made a detergent livery, which I haven't used for the past 1 month because I haven't raced.
Yep. What are the gaps between third and fourth?
It's pretty high, 14 seconds, and there we go. That was Casey giving the gap, giving way for the Lambo driver.
Twice again.
Probably.
Yeah, because he was lapped when he came out of pits, so now he's getting lapped again. So it's a 2-lap. Casey's 2 laps down now. So very miserable race, you could say, for Casey. But maybe he had some fun as well, trying to keep that car. In that sense, having fun trying to manhandle that car to stay on track and have any sense of traction out to the corner.
There we go. He's had another. I don't think this corner likes Casey that much.
Yeah.
It's trying to murder him every time he comes across it.
Yeah, but we have to give him props though. Like, he's still going.
Yeah, exactly.
Pretty much an hour and 15 minutes, and with that miserable car in miserable positions, but still he didn't give up and still going. I think he wants to get that points desperately.
He's my driver of the day, if you ask me, because he started dead last and now he's in P8, and in the in the AM class he's in P3. So
how many times he spin out? That's the thing. Like, spun out like 10 times.
Yeah. So great mental acumen on Casey's part.
Yeah, or maybe he's bored just like us. Just doesn't want to do anything else apart from driving in the sim. So I think P3 is pretty much set because we only have 16, 15 minutes left. So I don't expect these guys to gain, Starboy and Noob to gain on FIFA Connect too much, because for me, I think driver of the day is FIFA, because he wasn't on pace in terms of qualifying. He started like 7th or 8th, I think. He had some good battles. He had some good fights. Didn't make contact with anybody. Kept it on track. Kept it consistent. Did the pit stop, I think. He did the pit stop as well. So pretty much everything that he could do right, he has done right. So for me, he is definitely the driver of the day. What do you say, Nirma? Who's the guy who you watched out for this race?
Omnipresent Nirma chooses Starboy.
Starboy?
Yes, because turn 1, he had...
That's interesting.
Yeah, especially after he wrecked a driver.
After the incident that he was involved in, that bizarre incident.
Well, Nirma's
to
on
each his own, I guess.
Yeah.
No, sorry. Yes. I'm back. Yes. So the omnipresent Nirma chooses Starboy because, turn 1, he had an incident. He died in the middle of the race, went dead last, had another incident with Noob, and then now he's P4.
But wasn't he the guy who caused the second incident?
Yes, so he brought in excitement and made you swear on stream, so he has my driver of the day was.
Okay, that seems fair. Now we see, I think Panda's trying to put some laps on Paurav Gowda there. So unfortunate for Paurav Gowda, who seemed good and set for P6 or P7, but I think he made a false pit stop, so he might have lost like a minute in total race time. So Ooh, that was very close.
Super close.
Paragoda not giving too much space for Panda there to get in that. But anyways, yeah, very unfortunate for him. But I expected Casey to be the last guy on track, considering how many spins and how many misfortunes he had on track. But Paragoda seems to have had more of a misfortune. So yep, and yeah, Nirma, it's fun. He's left as well. So thanks. We're gonna thank Nirma for joining us and giving us something to talk about here. Uh, as we see, we're getting into the final stages of this race. So 14 minutes left, I think, in this race. So yep, to the smooth sailing. I would expect nothing else. Everybody's consistent right now. Everybody's pretty much on their rhythm. Maybe Casey will have a couple of spins more. Yeah, apart from that, I see nothing happening. What are lap times going? Power of Gora doing it 223, so not that great because it is an optimum track. So 223s are not that great, but I think he's a bronze class or M class driver, I think, right?
He is
Even
a
if he's, yeah, go
he,
ahead.
he's a silver class driver now.
Yeah, it's fine. Even if he's silver class, it's fine. 223 is, I think he's just getting used to the track and conditions here. So,
Yeah,
and that lap time.
this is his first race here in IRC.
Oh,
I haven't
really?
seen him before. Yeah, and
Yeah, that's good then, I think.
also to one thing to note is FIFA Kanak, who is on P3 right now. This is his second race. In the Snetterton race last week, he last week. I'm sorry. He was also, even then he was on a good run for the podium places, overall podium itself. But due to an incident in between, he had a spin or something because of which he
Yep,
lost out. Otherwise,
yep,
yeah, it would have been a dream start.
yep, definitely. So that's why I think that solidifies my opinion of him being the rival of the day as well because he, as I said, kept consistent, kept it clean. So Paragoda's first race, so we can just let him off. First race is as long as they're clean enough, the pace is gonna come. Obviously, they're gonna come with practice, so not much to worry about for Paragoda. These misfortunes happen,
Uh, I'm
especially in endurances.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, Koushik. I just have a small correction to make. FIFA Kanak actually finished P2 overall in that Snetterton race. So yeah, he did
Oh,
have a dream, maiden race in
yeah,
IRC.
that's very appreciable, quite fantastic actually. In the debut race, getting a podium at P2 as well, it's very appreciable. Uh, so yeah, you see, I was saying cruising around in the final. So, I think we'll just take a break. What do you say, Assassin? Just for 5 minutes, we'll take a break. We'll come back for the final few 5 minutes and for the podium interviews as well because we've been commentating
Sure.
for past one and a
Yeah,
half.
I think you've earned yourself that privilege. So yeah, go
Yep.
ahead.
So the guys who's watching will be back in around 5 to 6 minutes. So stay tuned. Keep watching the onboards here. So we'll be back. And I'm back. Have 4 minutes left on the clock here. I see Casey being lapped by Panda now. As he was publishing 5 laps before. Now he's
I
being lapped by Panda. Yep, right.
I almost wish they were racing right now because yeah, this is the only highlight since the last 5 minutes since the time we left.
But I think Casey just doesn't have the pace even now to battle with him, despite even if he ignores the blue flags. I don't think.
I mean, yeah, obviously, but yeah,
Yeah.
just for the sake of viewers and us commentators,
Yep.
I really wish that he had held Panda back for a bit.
Yep. What's the P3 situation looking like? Can you go there?
Yeah.
On board FIFA Connect.
FIFA Canuck seems to have pulled out a comfortable lead, and if I'm not mistaken, Noob actually reduced that gap to Starboy. It was around 16 seconds before, now it's just 10.5 seconds.
16? Wait, what happened there? I thought he was like 2 seconds behind last time I saw him.
No. They were way, the gap between them was immense, but yeah. But yeah, he has
Maybe something
dropped down.
happened to Noob, I think.
Yeah.
Because
Or
when they
Starboy.
fought, yeah, when they fought the second time around, Starboy went ahead. Noob was keeping behind Starboy. 3 laps we observed the gaps and he was like 2 seconds. So I gave up. I thought they were
Oh.
close to each other. But
Oh right, sorry, I was actually mistaken. The gap between Starboy and FIFA Canuck was 16 seconds. That has gone down to 9 seconds. And yes, of course, the gap between Starboy and Noob was around 3-4 seconds, but that has increased to 10 seconds now.
yeah, I think Noob has too much more damage, or maybe this doesn't have the pace on this later stages to keep up with Starboy. But I think Starboy as well is probably fuming a bit with himself for that contact early on, because he could fighting if FIFA can hack here. Maybe could have been ahead with the amount of pace he has. But right now, just 2 minutes left on the clock. It seems too little, too late for him to fight back to that podium position. So very unfortunate for him. Meanwhile, we see W Singh here, very dominant, pretty much a boring race for him.
Oh, hold on. What has happened to him?
What?
That wasn't a desync.
Wait, what?
Whoa, what is happening?
What is happening here? I thought he was just bugging out and
Yeah, same.
that's the game being decent.
Where is
What the
Panda?
hell?
We have to see this.
Oh, this is very, very late drama in the race here. Panda is
Oh, he's
down in-
left the lobby.
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh,
W
that
Singh
was the
will be fuming
that was the
because he's just
penultimate
done-
lap.
because he's just done a 1.5 hour endurance. Was about to win like 20 seconds gap, and now he lost the lead. There he goes. Worship the Panda actually takes the lead now. He leads the endurance here, so that was unexpected. I assumed it would be pretty much the same it was 5 minutes ago, but now, oof, that's a very big drama coming here. So I think W Singh will be fuming with the situation. Definitely. I mean, I definitely would be, because if it was a sprint race, it was fine. It's like 20 minutes, 30 minutes I spent in my life trying to do the sim race
Wait,
here. But
Davlish is back now and he's in the pits. So
Oh, no.
maybe he could salvage something. I don't know how this game works, to be honest. I thought if a driver leaves a lobby,
yeah, it's
that's his
definitely
race
he's
over.
still on the late lap, so he's definitely going to finish ahead of a lot of guys. If he goes back out right now,
And he's gone again.
gone again. Oh,
Yeah.
no. I think he might have some internet
That
issues.
is, the race is over now. So, yep. Oh, we might have missed the ending. And Casey is finishing the race.
Panda made the flag. Yeah, Panda made the flag. So that's it. Everyone who finishes now has finished the race here. So Panda in P1. So now we get another P2, I think, for FIFA Kanak. And Starboy finally makes it into the podium, being able to fight with 6 seconds. But he makes it onto the podium because of the miss of W Singh. Very unfortunate. Quite sad for him, to be honest. to lose out on the lead and to lose out on that victory, and now pretty much can't even make it back to rejoin now because the race is done point now. But if he would have made it back one lap before, I think he still would have been, what is it, P3, maybe even a podium he would have been, because that was the advantage he had over us.
This
But
is Baku 2021 all over again. Like what happened to Verstappen.
yeah, it's definitely, it's not even Verstappen. I think, yeah, maybe Verstappen.
Verstappen, yeah.
Yeah, Verstappen.
I mean,
But
if you were thinking Lewis, he basically trashed his own race, but Verstappen was
yeah,
because of
yeah,
his
he didn't
tires.
even lead one corner, so that was irrelevant. But for Verstappen, he was leading the entire race, and that was
Yeah.
unfortunate. So very similar thing happened here with W seeing today. So yeah, he'll definitely be foaming. He'll be kicking his imaginary tire, as you saw in
If
that picture.
if I were in his place right now, I'd just be lying down on the floor next to that PC and just to be staring at the ceiling, asking,
Yeah.
just crying and asking to God, like, just why?
Why did I waste
Yeah.
1.5 hours in my life? Maybe that's a bit too dramatic and philosophical, but
I mean, I wouldn't call it waste, but yeah, he was. I'm pretty sure he was bored as hell, and now, man.
yeah, definitely. So there we see W Singh joined back. He's in P7.
Oh,
Interesting.
I think the game decided to put him on P7 because maybe he was on the penultimate lap. I'm not sure how it works. So yeah, at least
P7
he's got
switch.
that to salvage. So yeah.
So Panda is the winner, the round 6 here in the endurance in the Spa-Francorchamps race here. So congratulations to him. It's not been a very exciting race for him. He passed, I think, Noob on first lap and Starboy as well, and he pretty much stayed there for the entirety of the race. He could probably sing, but at the end of the race, as we saw before, I saw him just go onto the lead very quickly and just got the lead pretty much on the last lap of. So congratulations to him, and FIFA Kanak won second podium consecutively for him, consecutively getting a P2 as well. So amazing race, my driver of the day, to be honest. Despite him being a relative rookie in this community, and maybe even for ACC, and still getting a podium in P2 consecutively for the second race. And congratulations to Starboy as well for that P3. Despite the contact he had, I think the stewards might be looking to see what happened there. So those are podium finishes. I think Noob was P4. I'm not sure who was P5.
It was MJK. MJK was in
yeah.
P5. Shrock was in P6. KC P7,
P7,
and
yeah.
the last Purav
No,
Gowda.
Tablish was P7, sorry.
Yeah, the game showed that he was in P7, but yeah, I mean, according to the finishing order, it was different.
KC was P8.
P8
At
and
least on the
Purav
leaderboards.
Pura was on P9.
Yeah. So those are the classification for our endurance race. Not that exciting throughout, you could say, but still, it's something to look forward so far. And we have our podium finishes joining our commentary box here. We'll be getting ready for the podium interviews. We have
okay, overtaking noob. But then what happened was my screen went black for a second.
Starboy in the commentary box here. Welcome, Starboy, to the commentary box. You're the podium finisher P3. So we're going to start off with you. How's the race been? Congratulations, podium. Very eventful race for you, I would say. Talk us through that.
It was a mixed race. Can't tell that it was a good race actually, because initially on lap 1, I think we had contact and which made me lose position. I don't know who was on fault, but I had to fight back from the grid, like filter through traffic. And then as soon as I was in clean air, I was around 1 second faster than Noob. So I pretty much caught up to him and was making a overtake to Blanchimont when suddenly, like, I was on the inside, he's on the outside. My lap went black for a second. Like,
Okay.
I didn't know what was happening at the moment. I just
Yeah, we were
got
quite confused. We were quite confused
yeah,
in the com box
exactly.
here.
Like I think HL jinxed it. It was HL's jinx. Earlier in the chat, he was like, "You'll be the one who'll hit noob,"
Yeah,
and
yeah.
exactly that happened. Like this was the
Okay,
first
see,
time I had a black screen.
Yeah, it's easy to make assumptions, but as you clarify here, so we get a bit more clarity on the situation. So we
Mm.
towards yourself, maybe
Yeah,
noob reports, but
and then once pit stops were done, I overtook Noob and I realized that I was a bit under fuel, like right on the edge. So I had to go to some fuel saving maps and save fuel. But then the bleach quit, which actually helped me to um, finish the race.
yep. Anyways, very exciting race from you. Uh, you've shown us some good battles throughout the race, so we have to thank you for that. So, congratulations once again. And we get to the second place finish of FIFA Connect. To be honest, my driver of the day you were. So, talk us through the race. How exciting!
Yeah, it was a great race. Needed to be consistent, and I actually had a heavy downforce, so I don't bin it into a rouge. So yeah, that helped me to stay consistent whole throughout the race.
Yeah, seems like a pretty boring race for you because uh, pretty much you got overtaken by I think MJK, but then he lost it. So you got that position and you just kept it throughout the entire race. You made no mistakes at all. You were consistent in lap times. You were keeping ahead of Starboy when the pit stops were done, and Starboy couldn't attack for the podium later on. But obviously, Gavlish had a disconnect, so he dropped out that way. But unfortunate for him. But you, on the other hand, have been very consistent. I think it's the second podium for you in the
Yeah,
community. So congratulations very much as
yeah,
well.
thank you.
Anything more to add from your side?
Now,
That is his
I think
second P2 in 2 races in IRC.
Yeah,
That
that's very commendable.
yes, actually,
yeah,
I
I
beautiful
was
have to say
performance.
catching up.
like I was a bit lucky as well because I think
Yeah,
Starboy and Noob were fighting a lot, and I think they had a crash or something.
yep. Like
Yeah,
as soon as I was in cleaner, I was catching up to FIFA Connect. Like it was around 15 or 17 seconds in the beginning. Got down to 8, but then race wasn't long enough to actually fight with them.
Yep.
Like,
You were pretty close. We were watching that fight for P3 before you and Noob made contact. Sabo and Noob made the contact. All three guys looked very close and it was said to be like a three car battle for P3, but yeah, different things happened. So, anyways, congratulations FIFA Connect for that P2 once again. So, and now we move on to our race winner, Worship. How has it been? Congratulations for that victory. Very bizarre end to that race, but yeah, talk us through it.
Yeah, for longest time, like till now, I was thinking the Vleesh parked and just left. But now no, but it seems like he got disconnected.
Yep.
Yeah, so
It's,
I did not win. I mean, I don't think uh, I won the race. Okay, in my mind it's P2 only, but okay, due to the circumstance, I'm getting the P1. My race start, however, was I think it was pretty good. I got Starboy on the race start, and then I think something happened to Noob. Some Noob got punted from behind.
yep.
Like I think it was Helium.
Still
Uh,
made the move though on to Oruj.
yeah, something happened, and I was just P2 for the longest time, and just kept
Yeah,
it there.
both you and Davlish looked very comfortable in your positions. Like each of you, like you were obviously slower, no offense. Uh, Looking at the lap times, you were slower a bit, and Davlish was comfortably ahead of you, and you were much faster. You were comfortably ahead of those guys. So it looked very boring race for you, but it all unfolded. Last lap, pretty much we saw Davlish park up on the exit of one, and just it was bizarre because there were a lot of desyncs happening in the stream, and we expected that to be just another desync and cars just flying around typical ACC style, but that wasn't the case, and Davlish actually disconnected. So unfortunate for him, but for you on the cards on the classification, it's P1 for you. It's a race victory. So enjoy it for this endurance race.
Thanks.
Yep. So I think that's it for podium interviews. Anybody else to talk about?
I think we can also declare the podium finishers in the. I mean, it's pretty obvious, really, at this point for the AM class. So P1 was taken by MJK, P2 by Shrock, and P3 by KC. Yeah. So those are our podium finishers for the AM class as well.
Yep. We have another driver here.
I think we're
We
done
can
with all
start.
our interviews.
Yeah. We're done with the podium interviews here. So thank you guys. Thank you for watching the stream. It's been a very long and quite, how would I describe it? Quite long in stream. I could say I
Yeah,
have no other
it
words.
was it was long. It was quite tiring, and
Yeah,
tiring for the most part. But yeah, it had its moments.
yeah. We had some good battles, but there was some typical endurance style bore fest as well. But thank you for watching. It's been ACC, ACC in IRC. So yeah, we'll be back again for the F1 races. Yeah, thank you for that.
Yep. And this is me, Dan the SSJ Assassin, signing out. And for my co-commentator Koushik, we all wish you a good night and a good one.
Good night.